Alright, welcome again to another Warhammer 40K Escalation League game at Greenfield Games in Greenfield, Massachusetts. We're doing a straight up rematch of the battle report you may have just watched. Dan versus Bob, 1,000 points. Space Marines versus Grey Knights and Tau with Grey Knight allies. We're doing a sort of countryside board. The game is going to be Big Guns Never Tire and Hammer and Anvil table quarters. We got an objective in that building there, one in the trees here, one here, and one there. And I believe we already rolled off, right? I won. I'm going to deploy first. And you want to show us real quick your army again? I think we know it. Fire Warriors squad, Fire Warrior squad. Crisis suit. What's that? A bodyguard with your HQ?
No, he's actually a lone suit that the HQ joined.
Okay. 2 HQ and a lone suit. Grey Knight Librarian with 2 telekinesis powers and a squad of 5 Grey Knights. And Dan was feeling like he didn't get to play with the Dread Knight last game, so he's going to try and get that. And I'm feeling like I made a ridiculous amount of armor failed saves, so I'm going to try the Space Marines out again. 10-man squad with missile launcher and flamer. 10-man squad with missile launcher. Librarian with rolled Telekine Dome again. It's the 3rd time I've rolled that power. Land Raider standard. Razorback, and a Devastator squad, 2 las cannons and a plasma cannon. And we'll be back after deployment. Alright, so here's deployment. We got the Land Raider over here, and the Librarian and 10-man squad joined up. Devastators up in the upper levels. Razorback has 5-man squad in it, and those guys are holding an objective in the woods. Dan was fortunate enough to seize initiative. He's going to go first. He's got his Fire Warriors set up in these woods, deep striking the Dreadnought and 2 crisis suits. He's got Fire Warriors in the woods there, and the Librarian and Grey Knights over there. And we'll be back with turn 1. Alright, tell us about Tau and Grey Knight turn 1.
We found out that this objective over here is nothing of note. This one over here is a Skyfire, so it might as well be nothing of note. And I took down 1 Marine over there.
I guess not. I never gave it a try. It was kind of like...
Librarian got off both his powers and ran forward.
Alright, we're back with Space Marine turn 1. Alright, this was
Put a wound on Debbie.
turn 1 for the Space Marines. Land Raider fired into them, ineffective. Everyone else fired. The Devastators, whatever guys in this squad could reach. The Razorback, those guys popped out into the woods, and those guys have stayed in the woods. And everyone fired at that and killed 1 Grey Knight and put 1 wound on the Librarian. We'll be back with turn 2. Okay, this was turn 2, right? What was this?
Yep.
Turn 2 for the Tau. And let's see. Dread Knight, Deep Strike, successfully right behind those Space Marines. The Crisis Suits also deep struck, but they had a mishap and got placed way back here, landed in terrain, but did not have any problems. These Fire Warriors moved forward. These Fire Warriors moved forward. These guys moved forward. This squad was fired into, and 1 Marine was killed. This squad was fired into from these guys, and 1 Marine was killed. Dread Knight came in, I talked about that, and I believe that's it. Alright, turn 2 for the Space Marines. Pretty much everything turned. Land Raider and the Devastator squad fired into the Grey Knights and the Librarian, wiping it out. Everything else turned and fired. The Razorback, these two squads in the woods here, the Librarian and the larger squad of Space Marines all fired into the Dread Knight and did nothing, I believe, right?
Correct.
And that is it. We will be back with turn 3. Alright, turn 3. What all happened here?
Actually, you will need a leadership test there.
Alright, leadership test on these. These guys got fired into and they fail their leadership, so they're gonna run away. How many? 2 inches.
Yeah, basically, the suits jumped up and killed a couple guys. The Fire Warrior shot them. These Fire Warriors over here shot those guys. And in the combat over here, the Dread Knight killed 4 guys, and there's still 1 guy standing.
Alright. Alright, this was Space Marine's turn. The Land Raider fired into the Fire Warriors. The Librarian and his squad fired into the Crisis Suits, killed 2 shield drones. The Devastators fired into the Fire Warriors, took out a bunch over there. They made their leadership. And the Assault, the guy with melta-bombs was killed before he could use his melta-bombs, and the Space Marines lost the Assault, and they're continued to be locked in combat. Alrighty, turn 4. What happened?
Dread Knight killed these last 3 guys. The suits and combined Fire Warriors took down the Librarian and a Marine over there. That was it.
That's it. Alright, this was Space Marine turn. The Land Raider shot at the Dread Knight, and the Razorback fired at the Dread Knight and took it out. The Devastators and this squad of Space Marines fired into these guys and took out one of the bodyguards. And we'll be back with turn...
I don't think we will be back.
5. I think we'll end it here. Do we have... Let's see, I have 1 objective. And you have...
None right now.
Huh?
None right now.
No objectives right now. We each got Slay the Warlord. Who got First Blood?
I did.
You got First Blood. You got First Blood, Slay the Warlord. I have 1 objective and Slay the Warlord. Is that going to be a victory for me?
Well, I don't think it is. I mean, we won't know. Should have finished, but...
Alright, we're going to call it a... I don't know how we'll score it, but we'll just score it as a draw, and we'll wrap things up here at Greenfield Games, closing up. Had to end the game early, and that's how it ended up. Thanks for listening. Subscribe to the channel and leave comments.